So speaking of celebrating, let's talk about real quick. Last night, Black excellence was in full effect at the 2020 Emmys. Tyler Perry was honored with the Governor's Award.
Mhm.
Regina King won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie, and I think she hit some award for like the most awards won. Like Regina King is seriously doing her
Yeah.
thing. Zendaya made history of becoming the youngest Emmy winner for Best Lead Actress in a Drama in HBO's Euphoria. How does it feel to hear about all this Black history? Finally, we had an award show where Black talent was properly recognized.
I love it because I'll tell you, a lot of people can say what they want about Tyler Perry. I've heard a lot of things about him that he wants to direct and produce and star in and write it and blah, blah, blah. So that's why he's not paying anybody. Allegedly, I've never worked for him, so I don't know that to be true. But one thing's for sure is every time he steps on that stage and he delivers a message, he always brings it back around for us. You know what I mean? And he did start humble and he did have a dream and he is accomplishing that. And he is putting money in Black and others' pockets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for him to be on the Confederate land where he now has built his empire, that's historical right there. You know what I mean? And so I love the fact that he had said a little message about a quilt. And it's so true because when we get passed down something of value that we don't think is valuable and that we don't even know is valuable, we disrespect it. Because it's like, oh, that was then, you know what I mean? We're like, what am I gonna do with this gift now? You know what I mean? How's this present in this day and time? But he had that story down pat where each patch in the quilt that his grandmother had given him had meant different times in her life, which meant different times in his life as where he is moving forward. And he said that he disrespected that blanket so much, only to come back around and understand what it really means. And that's what history is, just really understanding what our history is about and what our elders went through to help us and allow us to be where we are now, which our duty is now to do the same thing that they did for us, that we need to do for the millennials. So what I'm really trying to say is, listen, millennials, we're trying to teach you something. We ain't just talking about things that's just trending. We're stating our opinion because there's an experience behind us. We've been there, done that. So we can hee ha ha and entertain you. But throughout all of that thread, there's a little truth in there as well. So, take heed to what we're saying, because that's what we mean by paying homage to somebody, because they paved the way for us to come, and we're doing that for you, and you'll be doing that for someone else in the future as well.
Very nice. Very nice. Very much like the story about his quilt. You can even relate that to Tyler Perry himself, because we've all heard jokes that people try to like make about Tyler Perry, and people try to roll their eyes about a Tyler Perry this or Tyler Perry that, and he had to just take those hits. People would make fun of his stuff like it wasn't good. I'm sorry, but Diary of a Mad Black Woman, that was my shit. Why Did I Get Married 1 and 2? That was my shit.
Mr. Deeds, The Family That Prays.
Yes.
I just want him to work on his continuity. That's all.
But people disrespected. I know what you mean, Lisa, right? People disrespected him, but look at him. Like he's a legitimate billionaire now, and he has his own Universal Studios pretty much in Atlanta. And he kept working throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
And he made a lot of people stars. He really did. He needed to holler at us though, right?
Hello. Yeah, because we would be real sharp down to his studios. We would be so sharp down to his set.
From Black excellence to good old-fashioned white privilege, Vanity Fair has reported that Lori Loughlin, the actress that was charged in that college admission scandal, she's going to serve a 2-month sentence at, y'all ready for this? Mm-hmm. The prison of her choice. She gets to choose where she spends her time, ladies and gentlemen.
If that ain't white privilege, I don't know what is. They done just played right into our hand with that one. Because how in the hell do she get to pick what prison? And I know a lot of people out there saying prison is prison, and so she's going to pick the best one. But that's not what prison is about. Prison is that you did something wrong and you're supposed to be punished for it and serve your time. It ain't supposed to be what we already know. There's a difference between going to regular jail and then federal. Everybody want to go to the camp. You know what I mean? That's the best time. If you're going to do a crime, you might as well do it all the way and do a white collar crime so you can go there. But now she gets to do the research on which prison has the best food, which prison has the best security, which prison has the, pays the most for making license plates. I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. Really
sure.
Here, my thing is this. Now, there have been instances in the justice system where that I've heard of that in certain offenses, you are allowed to pick, which prison. There have been certain offenses, whether you're black or white or whatever, white privilege. Now, there have been some instances. However, Lori Loughlin committed the same crime at a higher level as another black woman here in Georgia who actually used a different address for her kindergartner and went to prison for it for, I think, 5 years. In Georgia, a black woman used a different address for her kindergartner to go to school, and because it was an offense, she went to jail straight out the gate. Now, Lori Loughlin, y'all did like some capital punishment type shit. Y'all did some higher type shit as far on that of that same stature. How is it that you're not treated like the black woman who actually went to jail straight away, okay, for lying about the address of her child going to school? I remember when I was on Sister Circle, I had to report on this, and I thought it was outrageous that these two went, that it was Lori Loughlin and who else? It was another white girl that's an actress.
The one that's married to William H. Macy. I forgot her name.
Right.
Yeah, it was two of them. And so, what you say? Yeah, we don't know her name, child, but it was two white girls, and they paid, they paid to get their kids in these good schools and this, that, and the third. So the fact that she gets to pick her school, her prison, is almost like how she got to pick the school for her child.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what are we saying? What message is this? And then y'all act like
Felicity Huffman. I'm sorry.
There you go, Felicity Huffman. Then y'all act like privilege isn't real. That's what be killing me about white people. Now, there are white people that be like, yeah, privilege is, we had it since we was born, they be knowing. But then there are white people that act like privilege isn't real. So what do you call this then? What is this?
I guess they feel like we protesting on so many different levels that we would let this bypass us and not catch this.
They tried to slip this.
Meanwhile, there was a woman. We got to go to commercial real quick because we late. But meanwhile, there's another woman in Texas too. I had her on my radio show. Crystal, her name was, I think. She did a white collar crime, got out, was on probation, and she thought she was off. She thought she was off papers, and she went to go vote provisional ballot. Someone snitched where she went to go vote, one of her little punk ass neighbors. And they sentenced her to 5 years in prison as well for her vote never even went through. So when y'all get sick and tired of hearing about us talking about
remember that story.
We get sick and tired of seeing the bullshit that gets committed on the regular, and you have two different justice systems, and we're sick of it. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we got more cocktails with the queens, and we come back. I'm gonna hit this Hennessy one good time too, because it's too much.
Okay.